So I'm going to give you 9 or 10 lessons in this video that you're going to fucking hate, but have made me a net worth of nearly $200 million. In fact, by the time you're done applying these lessons, you'll probably get the same result I do in real life, which is where most people who are your acquaintances or have interacted with you think you're some sociopathic, autistic, tier 10 level dick. And that's because what I'm going to show you in this video and teach you from the outside is going to look like a very cold, empty, ruthless, mean life where you don't value people, you don't value other people's time, and frankly, you do not operate in a way that makes other people feel warm and cozy. A lot of people are just going to think you suck. And in fact, when you apply a lot of the things I'm going to tell you in this video, you're not going to like them. They're not going to be enjoyable. But what they are going to do is get you what you want out of life. If you want to be rich, you want to get results in whatever you're trying to do, this is going to make you the most effective person to get them. And the reason these are so unbearable to a lot of other people is it cuts out all the bullshit. And you have to think to yourself as you watch this video, what do you want in life? Do you want all the things you want, or do you want like a little bit of the things you want in the bullshit? Because the truth at the end of the day is if you don't sacrifice the bullshit, the stuff you care about becomes the sacrifice and you get left with all the bullshit. So it's way better you just eat these hard truths I'm going to give you, because you're going to get rid of all the bullshit at the end of the day you don't care about. You're going to get all the things you want as fast as possible. And if your goals are based around money, it's going to allow you to get to those money goals so that you can then enjoy the rest of your life with money, or go keep making more money or whatever. Just have financial fucking freedom to do whatever you want, which is pretty damn important. It's worth being called a dick. So pay attention. This shit works. So look, number one, I can't be clear enough on this. It is worth it to be unbalanced. It's actually better to be unbalanced. You will be happier if you're an unbalanced person. Here is why. A lot of people have a definition of what a good life looks like. You have some balance between friends, stupid hobbies, traveling, you know, the whole kumbaya, enjoying food that you want. People justify all their stupid behavior that holds them back in life for the sake of being balanced. Oh, you know, I could have a six-pack, but I like enjoying cake. Oh, you know, I could work on my business, but I like being able to spend 48 hours a week with my friends. Oh, you know, I am distracted from work a whole lot, but I really enjoy playing my World of Warcraft account at nighttime. I find that's fun. I need to keep balance. We need to realign our priorities to the main goal of life, avoiding things that suck a big bag of dicks primarily. And one of the things that sucks the biggest bags of dick is having to do shit you don't want to do for your entire life, which is work you don't want to do. I'm not saying you want to avoid work. My biggest nightmare, one of the darkest places you can ever be at, is a place in life where you don't have work to do, you don't have something to work on. But if you're having to work on something you don't enjoy for people you don't enjoy doing it with, your life sucks, period, bar none. So the number one thing you should figure out first off before worrying about any balance is how to not do that. I don't care if you have a job as an employee, for example, at Hyros. Many of my employees are multimillionaires now. They become very rich working in a place with people they enjoy working with, working how they like to work. That's great. The only reason they're able to do that, though, is because they're phenomenal at their jobs and they're not really balanced people. At least they weren't balanced when we were building Hyros initially. So point one of this, it's worth it to be extremely unbalanced until you have your financials under control. You shouldn't have friends. You shouldn't worry about your family. You shouldn't worry about having hobbies. You shouldn't worry about being a well-rounded person. You should work, exercise, and eat ramen noodles. That's essentially it. On another point, once you do become successful, this whole attempt to become balanced is not something that you should pursue just because you need to do it. A lot of the things that make us balanced, that we consider balanced, like having a wide range of food, lots of hobbies, etc., are really just an excuse to be mediocre. When a lot of people describe being balanced, they describe allowing themselves to be mediocre and not cutting out the bullshit in their life to do that. It's way better to just completely understand exactly what you want in a life and then just maximize that and kill everything else. If there's friends you don't really enjoy much, but you're just like still keeping in your life, burn it to the ground so you can put more time into work, your family, or whatever you're trying to do. If there's shit that you're doing, like eating food that's making you feel bad or not getting the body or physique that you want, just cut it out completely. Don't have any of it whatsoever. It's way better to recognize things and habits like video games that you're probably doing, or whatever goofy hobbies you have that are not moving you forward in life, but you like because they're addictive and they touch your brain the right way, and just burn those all out completely, because you need to recognize the things that you actually want. If your goals are family, your goals are to reach this level of personhood, just put all of that as the forefront and burn everything else to the ground. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to wish you played a little bit more video games or hung around with those people you didn't really care about or had all this balance in your life. You're just going to wish you had 100% of your life of 100% of what you want. So just don't balance anything else and just go straight for that. So next thing I'm going to tell you, and you don't have to do this your entire life, but you need to do it at some point in your life, is put work before your family and friends. A lot of people, especially in their 20s, well, you know, I got to see my parents, I got to see my family, I got to do this, and that, I want to have kids, blah, 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 blah. whatever. Look, if you don't have your financials fucking handled, your life is going to suck. Therefore, it is better for you to just not hang out with friends, not hang out with family, not put any type of social life as any priority whatsoever, and get your financials fucking handled. And then look, when you're 30 and you have millions of dollars, two things are going to happen. One, if you want to just kind of chill out and work less then and spend the rest of your life being social, great. Two, in your 20s, particularly early on in your life, most of the relationships you have and then you build will not be there when you're in your 30s. Other than your parents, you probably won't interact with too many people you interacted with in your young 20s. The relationships are borderline worthless. So it's way better to just punt that shit down the road and get money handled so by the time you're 30, you can actually invest in relationships you're going to have for the rest of your life. Because when you're 35, those people you put so much time, all that investment you put into your social life, those people are not going to come and save you when you're having to work 60 hours a week doing something you don't like. They're not even going to be there. You're going to see them once or twice a year, probably. And you really want to start building your social life in your 30s when you actually know who you are as a person and what you actually want. When you're building relationships before you've hit your potential as a person, or at least really defined who you are, you're going to have all these aimless friendships that have all these aimless different connections in them. And you really don't have a focus with your friendships. And so you're going to interacting with all these people that you're eventually going to burn out in friendships because you don't have any real connection later on against who you actually are as a person. So just fuck all of it. Skip friends. Say no to everything. Get your shit handled first, so that you can spend the rest of your life with your shit handled and actually enjoying a life where your shit is handled, instead of having a life where people try to juggle and manage all this stuff where their shit is not handled. And most of their life goes to juggling and managing their shit versus living life. Just manage it. Get it handled first. Hey, quick reminder, subscribe, because I will give you all the courses I used to make. It's like $20,000 worth of courses for free. This is all the business tactics I've used to scale and make 9-figure businesses, the sales, the ads, the copywriting, hiring employees, the actual sales pitches, everything all broken down. You will get all of those for free, but you have to subscribe because I post in my community tab once a month. Only subscribers can see it. You will not see this post if you're not subscribed. So subscribe and you'll get all those lessons, all that for free, because I don't sell you shit on this channel. So you should subscribe so you get that, and then watch the community tab. Next, a lot of people value their parents' opinions. They value their friends' opinions. They value the opinions of other people online. They value all sorts of people's opinions, their friends' opinions, whatever. Don't do that. You should value the opinion of people who have done exactly what you want to do. So if someone gives me any advice on how I'm living my life, I look at their life and say, is this the life that I want to live? 99% of the time, people giving me advice on how I should live my life don't have a life that I want. What you should instead do is find people who are living the life that you want. They have the traits that you want. They operate the way that you want. They have the wealth. They have the lifestyle. They have everything that you want in life. And then you should look at their advice and what they think about the world and see how that comes with your worldviews and what you're doing. Everybody else is mostly fucking retarded. Most people you interact with in life are retarded. They don't get what they want in life. If you look at 99% of people, they don't have what they want out of life. They're doing all sorts of dumb crap and then they die. Their opinions on everything essentially are wrong. And even if they have the right opinions, they definitely don't know how to execute on those opinions. So you really just shouldn't value it at all. And a lot of people think, well, everybody's worth respect and value and have their opinions are worth taking in. You should listen to everybody. You absolutely shouldn't. There's only a very specific few people you should listen to, for example, in terms of your diet. It's the same thing with everybody else in life. Most people have lots of strong opinions. None of them are usually right. If you look at people's life results, most people are fat, or at least they're not in very good shape, or they're not in peak shape. Most people are not financially successful. Most people do not have complete emotional control or self-awareness or are anywhere near their peak potential mentally. So you don't have to value their opinions. Like you don't have to think anything they say is worthwhile. Find people who have the result you want. And if they have the result you want, then listen to them. Other than that, who cares? You might as well have your own goofy ass opinions that are wrong too, because theirs are wrong as well. So just listen to your own opinions. Now, another one that drives me nuts is when people tell me I need to live a little. I need to live a little. And what most people define living a little is injecting themselves with other disgusting little hobbies and bad behavior to justify it and put it in a moral pedestal so they can justify their bad behavior. So for example, when a lot of people eat cake and they eat dessert all the time and they eat stuff that ruins their body, they say, yeah, but Alex, you're just not living a little. I value living a little. And what they're really saying is they're putting eating cake in a moral high ground, saying like, I'm experiencing the fullness of life and being fulfilled. What's actually going on in this situation is a person person's brain is activating when they eat sugar, releasing all sorts of dopamine and chemicals, short-wiring their brain to cause them to shove shit such as cake covered in icing in their mouth uncontrollably, despite it ruining their body. It's not something that they're actually in love with, that their soul is connecting with. It's literally their brain firing off chemicals in a completely manipulated way that's causing them to repeat an action over and over again that damages them, aka fucking retardation. Terrible behavior. Terrible, terrible, terrible behavior. And they justify all of it with some moral high ground. And you're going to see in your life, you're going to justify a lot of bad behavior by putting in a moral high ground. Oh, you know, I spent all weekend playing video games instead of making videos and content and growing myself as a person, working on my business to reach my goals because I'm living a little. Oh, I went out with my friends all weekend and got drunk all weekend because I'm living a little. Oh, I ate this stuff. I did this thing. I hung out with this person. I spent way too much time doing X, Y, and Z because I'm living a little. You got to ask yourself at the end of the day, are the things that matter to you worth this living a little? Because the things that matter to you will become the sacrifice, and you'll be left with all the things that are living a little. You'll be spending your life fat, poor, not surrounded with the people you want, not becoming the person you want, so you can live a little. You're sacrificing everything you actually care about just to live a little. And then the truth is, behind most things you're doing, you need to analyze them, whether they are actually making you a better person and nurturing your soul as a person. For example, going and building businesses, doing hobbies like playing guitar, hanging out with my wife and stuff, this nurtures me and grows me as a person. Going and learning about myself, or going on opportunities, or going on trips and stuff like that, where like I actually grow as a person. This grows me as a person. Doing stuff like drinking, playing video games, hanging out with worthless friends, goofing off. A lot of the things that we do in our life that are living a little, you wouldn't have to say, like no one looks at hobbies like doing jujitsu or playing guitar or something and chalks it up in the living little category. They don't have to justify it from some moral high ground. A lot of the things you see people justify living a little are bad habits that they have that they won't get rid of. And so when you look at what you're doing in your day-to-day life, analyze whether you're doing it because your brain is addicted to it or because you actually truly enjoy it. For example, if you boot up your phone and play Candy Crush, you're going to love it, but it's not because you actually love it. It's because the game is wired to fuck with your brain in such a way that you become addicted to it and release immense amounts of dopamine and feelings of accomplishment that you really haven't achieved. You have to avoid things like this. For example, cake releases all sorts of chemicals in your brain despite being terrible for your body. You don't actually love the thing. It makes you sick, but your body and brain is optimized based in the way it was existing 1,000 years ago to see this piece of cake and it goes in your mouth as something that's very good for survival because of all the taste and everything it's activating. It's a manipulation of your brain. Don't worry about living a little. Worry about becoming who you want to be and the goals you want to achieve. And most of the time, living a little is usually tied to some manipulative thing that humans have created to tap into the chemicals of your mind to make you feel good. Oh, I did cocaine. I'm just living a little. Same thing, just on a lower scale for most things. And on another front, be poor. Live poor. Now, I understand this comes off as a little bit tongue-in-cheek as I'm sitting here in a garage with a $700,000 car behind me. I got all this stuff when I achieved a net worth of over $100 million. A lot of people you see who have nice cars and nice things, they're buying all of it with loans. I don't buy anything with loans. I buy things in cash or borrowing off my assets. So what I want to stress is that when I first started my businesses and when I got the biggest acceleration in my businesses, when I sold my stuff and I lived in an apartment with just a bed and a desk and worked on it. Am I saying you should do this? Yes, I in fact am. In fact, if you're young, you should just go get an empty studio apartment next to a grocery store, don't have a car and live in Wyoming, so your bills are like $200 a month, and just work on whatever you need to do to master your craft and trade in life. I don't suggest everybody starts a business. I suggest you be very fucking talented and skilled to the point that you can charge a lot of money for your skills and there's demand for a person like you. For example, again, there's many people that work at my business that are multimillionaires now because of the leverage they have because of the skills they've accrued over their career. You should view it the same way. Whether you start a business or not, you are still leveling up the main asset, which is you. So what you should do is stop trying to live nicely or live anywhere close within your means. If you are spending more than 10% of your monthly income, it's a sign you need to reduce. So if you're only making a couple grand a month and you're poor, that's fine. Go live in Wyoming. Reduce to the absolute bare minimum, because what that's going to allow you to do is unlock time. Because what you're basically doing when you're poor is trading immense amounts of your time for little bits of money. You need to go and make it so that you can end up working a part-time job, afford your cheap-ass apartment, and then invest in yourself till you are worth enough that your time is very valuable at least. Then you can go and start gradually scaling up off of 10% of your income. This is where you should live at, period. You shouldn't worry about appearance. You shouldn't worry about living nice. Just live cheaply. It's really not that bad. You will have a great time not having to worry about anything financial as well. There's no shame in it. But most people avoid this. They get a car, they get in college debt, they whack up all this debt, and then they become slaves who can't go and invest invest any of their time because all their time is being traded for small amounts of money. That is where you die. That is where your dreams go to end. Avoid that by living poor as long as you possibly can and live within 10% of your income. And if you can't do that because you're so fucking poor, reduce to the point where your life costs are as cheap as humanly possible so you can get as much of your time back as possible to invest in yourself and giving yourself time to grow. So the next one, everybody's going to hate this one. This one pisses off mediocre people more than anything else. Don't be humble. Be arrogant, at least in a video game sense of way. So I'll explain that in a second. Whenever I'm talking about money or anything, there's always the crowd of people like, oh, you need to be more humble. No, fuck you. Shut up. You know the people that tell you to be more humble? It's fucking losers. I've never seen a successful person give a shit about anyone else being arrogant because they have their own stuff going on. Like, I don't care if there's some person who's a billionaire that's arrogant. I'm not like, hey, he needs to go be more humble. I have my own stuff going on to the point I don't care if someone's really overconfident themselves. It's just not on my radar. People usually want you to be humble so they can feel better about themselves. If you walk into a room, I don't go and do this by any means, but if you walk into a room and you start talking about making billions of dollars and your lifestyle and whatever you're trying to do and your goals and whatever, a lot of people are gonna be like, well, you need to be humble. He needs to be more humble. No, they just want you to be more humble so you don't remind them how much their life sucks and how little they've accomplished with their time. So one, don't be humble for other people. But two, a lot of people think there's some terribleness in being egocentrical and having some obscene confidence in yourself. There is not. It's way better to be egotistical about yourself and have total faith in yourself than it is to hate yourself. And a lot of people just hate themselves and they put themselves in a bad corner where they shit on themselves at the time and think of themselves as an underdog. No, think of yourself as the ruthless killer who people can't stop. It's better to think in that way because you're going to take more risk. You're going to take more gambles. You're going to put money behind yourself and reach out for way more opportunities than if you just think you suck. It's way better on the flip side. Now, on this part, nothing matters. No one's better than anybody else. And this isn't me saying it from like some virtue signaling way. Every part of our value in society is based on these made-up numbers that humans created. We are all just consciousness locked inside meat bags that are imagining the whole entire hierarchy of humanity. We are all exactly the same. We all go to the same place. Everything we do that makes us better than each other is completely made up. It's not that in some virtuous morality kind of way, no one's better than each other. We just literally can't be. Like, no one can actually better or worse. It's all just human metrics and numbers that we've made up. On the real baseline, everything, we're all just meat bags with a consciousness in our heads that die and forget everything. Nothing matters at all. So the real truth of it is there's nothing to be egocentrical about at all. You're just nothingness. So you might as well just make up and play the video game of life, which is basically like if you're playing a video game, nothing that matters in the video game matters, but it's fun to play the video game and act like it matters. Same exact thing in life. Like, have a little bit of ego because it makes things more fun. Like, have confidence in yourself because it makes things more fun than thinking you suck the entire time. And just be okay with it. It's fine. It's much better than sitting around being like forcefully making yourself humble and forcefully putting yourself down all the time. Like, be a little bit cocky. And it's all, and at the end of the day, it's all just one big joke anyway. So you might as well be on the fun end of the joke instead of the sad, soggy end of it. It's that simple. Now, here's another one that people are going to hate. Just assume you're going to win by default. Like, assume the world is rigged in your favor. Why should you do this? And why is this not a bad thing? Look, you shouldn't be to the point where you think things are just going to be given to you and you can just work and not get anything. That's going to set you up for a lot of failure. So you have to back it up. You have to always be willing to put in the work to back it up first off. But you should also always assume you're going to win. Is this true? No. But if you assume you're going to win, you're going to work like you're going to win. If you truly believe that you can win the Super Bowl, in your heart of hearts, you know you can do it, you're going to put in the work and you're going to be more enthusiastic about doing it. The end. So if you look at how you're going to work in life and how you're going to behave in life, you're just going to have a better life. You're going to take more risk. You're going to take more opportunity, and you're going to work with way more passion and excitement. If you truly just believe you can win and you just have blind faith in yourself, you're going to take a lot of leaps, and sometimes it might not pay off. But as long as you're willing to put in the work, which comes with all the stuff I talked about before this, sacrificing correctly, it's usually going to pay off. It will, in fact, almost always pay off. I know most people I started with when I was much younger who started businesses, everybody that wanted to be a millionaire that stuck with it and kept betting themselves is a millionaire now. I can't name anybody who is not. And so there's two ways you can live life. You can assume like you're not going to win and that you suck and you're always going to hedge your bets on yourself and you're not going to take big swings. Or you can just assume that you're playing Grand Theft Auto on cheat codes and you're the main character. Is this technically true? Are you the main character? Are you the best thing that ever walked on earth? No, probably not. But who cares? Just live like that anyways, because then you're going to end up taking the shots you need to take, and you're going to have a way more fun, more enjoyable life. At the end, it's all one big joke, so you might as well be on the fun end of the joke. Next, a certain amount of people should dislike you. They should really dislike you. In fact, it's great for marketing if people dislike you. A really good example of this is Brian Johnson when he was first getting started with all of his Live Forever stuff. He intentionally posted stuff that made a certain kind of people absolutely livid. I'm going to live forever, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to become the next AI god, all kinds of stuff like this. Who did this piss off? Who did it really make mad? All the people that will never be Brian Johnson's customers. There was not a single person who was buying Brian Johnson's blueprint products that it made mad. It made mad tons of people that are against living forever and have all sorts of moral hangups about what Brian is doing. And he found them and popped them like a pimple. And what they did is they got very angry and spread it all over the internet and spread their hate everywhere. And anybody that was Brian Johnson's target market, they looked at all this nonsense and this hate going on and said, what's going on here? And they looked at Brian, they're like, wow, this is awesome. Okay. So you need to understand, you shouldn't be doing stuff and not care if people hate you, because if enough people hate you and you're doing really bad stuff, karma is eventually going to get you and you're going to be in a lot of trouble. You shouldn't go and run a Ponzi scheme or take people's money fraudulently or do anything like that. That's not what I'm getting at here. I'm not saying do bad things, fuck people, fuck the haters. I'm saying that you should have a personality, you should grow in a certain way that a certain amount of people don't like you. And that means you're doing things right. In fact, a little bit of drama and intentional confusion and intentional stirring of the pot is good if it's not your target market. So for example, when I talk about business or I make these videos, you can tell that I stir up a little bit of drama and I say all sorts of stuff. You will notice that the people that it pisses off are never people that would have bought anything from me or interacted with my business, and are usually unsuccessful poo-poo head people with all sorts of hangups and they're woke and they're all sorts of junk like that. These are people that would not be fans of my business or buying ad tracking software or buying crypto or watching my content, period. So they might as well be deployed for drama. This is what I'm getting at right here. Use other people's negative criticisms of yourself. Be willing to be misunderstood. Create confusion intentionally so that you create interest, and then the right people that are interested in you will find you. The haters will not just be repulsed. They'll spread your message everywhere, and they'll spread it like wildfire to all the people that actually are going to like you. It's one of the best marketing tactics ever. Look at how it worked for Brian Johnson. The way he did it was absolutely brilliant. Another final one is, like, I really don't like people who appear smart, because usually if you ever met like a person that appears smart, they usually have an accent. They use all sorts of big words. They talk endlessly in endless complexities that make you feel stupid, like you can't keep up with them. 90% of the time, these people are the actual real retards. They're midwits. And if you go look at like people that work in corporations and all the people making PowerPoints and calls all days, they sound so intelligent. Like if you go work with Silicon Valley people, man, they'll sit in a room and talk about culture and all these advanced things all the time. And then they don't get any fucking results at all. The people that usually get results in life are the people who are very simple. If you ever listen to Steve Jobs talk, very easy to understand. Everything he talked about, very simple. You understand the things he's trying to do, the way he's operating. Nothing he's saying is mind-blowing. It's so simple that it's mind-blowing. If you ever listen to Alex Hormozi talk, he's very easy to understand. Like, nothing Alex says is complex. He doesn't speak in large complexities or like some PhD person. He just talks very straight way and clearly explains what he's thinking, what's going on in his head. What's going on in his head is extremely complex. There's a lot of brilliant marketing information, but he puts it so simply. You want to find people and listen to people like that, and you want to pursue being like that. A lot of people who are midwits create this persona of intelligence. For example, if you look at a lot of college professors or PhDs, the glasses, the orientations, all the big words, they don't get any results in life whatsoever. They can't do anything. And the reason why they have these personas and these intelligent behaviors is so that people think they're intelligent, so they can sneasel their way in to value and then extract value. You see it all the time in Silicon Valley. It's why these companies have so many employees that don't generate any money, and they're all losing and burning tons of money. There's been a time in my life where I tried to seem a certain way, or I tried to seem a certain type of intelligence. Just don't do that. Just embrace being retarded and simple and basic. And this is usually what's going to get you results. If you look at a lot of things that are best in life, they're usually simple. A lot of the best products, a lot of the best speakers, a lot of the people that get the best results, they're simple. If you look at Elon Musk talk, yeah, he's autistic and weird and everything, but a lot of things he says are just down to earth, simple stuff. Embrace simplicity and stupidity. Don't lean into anything just because you think it sounds smart. If you think it sounds smart and you're doing it because it seems smart, it's usually retarded. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with is just be an absolute asshole with your time and priorities. A lot of people in my day-to-day life think I'm an asshole because I don't value their time. I don't make my time readily available for them. If there's something that's important to them, it doesn't naturally mean it's important to me. I don't just stop what I'm doing because other people want me to stop what I'm doing. Does this make me an asshole? I don't think it does, because you need to realize that you have a very finite amount of time in your life, and you have finite focus, and you have finite energy. And if you were constantly going and allocating this to whatever other people want you to allocate it to, if you're constantly getting upset with other people, constantly doing what they they want, trying to make them happy, you're going to lose this incredible asset you need to make yourself happy and your life great, and to put you in a position where you can take care of people, you can support your family, you can get the things you want out of life. If you're constantly spreading around your most important asset, you're not going to be able to invest it in yourself. And this is going to cause people to not like you. They're going to think, oh man, he just doesn't value friends or family or all these times and whatever. You got to actually just look at the end of the day and say, what do you actually value? And you just got to be non-apologetic about it, because if you don't sacrifice the things that you don't care about, the things that you care about will become the sacrifice. It's as simple as that. If you're constantly making times to make friends happy, if you're constantly making time to make your parents happy, if you're constantly doing things to make other people happy or avoiding conflict or what other people value, you're not going to get what you want. And if you're a good person, what you want will usually put you in a position of power to take care of people and do all the nice things that you want to do. But you can't do it from a position of weakness. So stop it. Just stop trying. Stop trying to spread yourself super thin and make everybody else happy, because at the end of the day, you're going to make them happy for 2 seconds, and then they're not going to give a shit about what happens in your life. No one's going to come and make you rich. No one's going to come and pay your bills. No one's going to come make you the realized person you want to be. No one's going to come give you that good physique. No one's going to give you the dividends on your focus and time that you should be getting. So fuck it. Just don't be apologetic about it. So those are 10 things, 8 things, I didn't really keep count, that are going to make you extremely rich if you apply them, and people are going to hate you and they're not going to be fun. And it's kind of just hard, blunt truths. But if you want what you want in a life, you have to do them. So reminder, if you want actual courses on how I build all my businesses, the advertising tactics, the sales tactics, I'll give them all to you for free, but you have to subscribe. Once a month, I post all these courses. They're all my other courses. It's like 20 grand worth of stuff. I post in my community tab for my subscribers only. You will not see us unless you're subscribed. So subscribe. Also below this video, if you want to actually get into tactics about making money, there's a video on how to get from 0 to 100K a year, 100K a year to $1 million a year, and $1 million a year to 10 million a year. They're all broken down right below this video for free, because I don't sell you courses on this channel. So if you care about that stuff, subscribe, go watch the videos. I'll catch you in the next video.